Hey everybody, and welcome back into the Dependent Fanatic channel. The SEC football schedule ranking is right here and now. I did the Big Ten last week, and we're starting off with Vanderbilt for the SEC. It's going to be a little bit different format. I'm just going to do them all in one video here. It'll be a little longer, but I think it'll be easier for all of you out there. So, first off is Vanderbilt. And by the way, it's the SEC. Every schedule is going to be tough. Some tougher than others, just like the Big Ten. But the SEC has 3 teams that have a tougher schedule than the Big Ten's toughest schedule. So there you have that. Number 1 is Vanderbilt. They were 2-10 last season, 0-8 in the SEC, but their strength of schedule, which is last year's results, their opponents' results from last year, and all that adds up to 99, as you can see right here. All that adds up to 99, which is by far the highest that we've done. They have Wake Forest, at Alabama, Mississippi, at Georgia, at Kentucky. Wow. Them are 5 teams that had 10 wins or better last year. So their schedule is at Hawaii. They have Elon. They have Wake Forest at home, at Northern Illinois, at Alabama, Mississippi, at Georgia, at Missouri, South Carolina at home. They have at Kentucky, Florida, and Tennessee. Brutal schedule for a 2-10 team last year. That's tough. Next up is Arkansas. Arkansas went 9-4, 4-4 last year. Their strength of schedule adds up to 94. They have Cincinnati at home, Alabama at home, at BYU, and Mississippi are 10-win opponents from last season. They start with Cincinnati. They have South Carolina at home too, Missouri State or Montana State. They have Texas A&M in a neutral site game. I think in Jerry World again. Seems like that's where it always is. Alabama at home, at Mississippi State, at BYU, at Auburn, Liberty at home, LSU at home, Mississippi at home, and they finish at Missouri. All right, that's the second toughest schedule, but it's tied right here with Auburn, both 94 in the strength of schedule. And Auburn was 6-7 last year, 3-5. They are at Georgia, at Mississippi, at Alabama. The reason I had Arkansas ahead just by a notch was because they had 4 10-win teams from last year on their schedule, but them 3 road games, it's equal. Put them wherever you want. They start with Mercer. They have San Jose State. They have Penn State at home, revenge game there from last year when Auburn went up to Happy Valley. They have Missouri at home, Louisiana State at home. They're at Georgia, at Mississippi. Tough road game stretch there. Arkansas at home, at Mississippi State. Texas A&M at home, Western Kentucky, and then they finish at Alabama. So there's the third toughest schedule in the SEC. Mississippi State comes in at number 4. They were 7-6, 4-4 in the SEC last year. Their strength of schedule is 87. So now we start to taper off and come to reality here with the toughness, but like I said, all of them are very tough. They have at Kentucky, at Alabama, at Georgia at home, at Mississippi are their 10-win opponents from last season. But their schedule is Memphis at home, at Arizona, who was 1-11 last year. That shouldn't be that tough. At LSU, Bowling Green, Texas A&M, Arkansas, all at home, at Kentucky, at Alabama, Auburn at home, Georgia, Eastern Tennessee State at home, and at Mississippi to finish up their season. So we'll see if they can get back to bowl eligibility. That's a tough schedule. Next up is South Carolina, and I'm just gonna start to skip the 10-win teams. You can see them right there, but they were 7-6 last year, 3-5. Their strength of schedule added up to 85. Georgia State at home, at Arkansas, Georgia, Charlotte, South Carolina State, at Kentucky, Texas A&M, Missouri, at Vanderbilt, at Florida, Tennessee, at Clemson is what they finish with. Number 6 is Tennessee. Tennessee has Ball State, at Pitt, Akron, Florida, at LSU, Alabama, Tennessee Martin. They have Kentucky at home, at Georgia, Missouri, at South Carolina, at Vanderbilt. All right. Number 7 is LSU, and they went 6-7 last year, 3-5 in the SEC. But they also tie Tennessee, but have 1 or 2 less 10-win opponents on their schedule. They start with Florida State neutral site. They have Southern. They have Mississippi State, New Mexico, at Auburn, Tennessee, at Florida, Ole Miss, Alabama, at Arkansas, UAB, and at Texas A&M. Another pretty darn tough schedule there. 83. That's tough, and we only drop off to 82 here with Texas A&M. Texas A&M has Sam Houston State, I believe, App State. They have Miami at home. They have that neutral site game versus Arkansas, at Mississippi State, at Alabama, at South Carolina. They have Miss at home, Florida at home, at Auburn, Massachusetts, and LSU. And we move on to Kentucky. Kentucky has the 9th toughest schedule, but if you see a theme here, not all the best teams are seen yet. Georgia and Alabama really catch a break here. But Kentucky was 10-3 last year. They were 5-3 in the SEC, and their strength of schedule adds up to 81. They have Miami of Ohio at home. They're at Florida. They have Youngstown State at home, Northern Illinois, at Ole Miss, South Carolina at home, Mississippi State at home, at Tennessee, at Missouri, Vanderbilt at home, Georgia at home, and Louisville, their rival, at home. So there you have it. That's their schedule. Florida comes in at number 10, the 10th hardest schedule in the SEC. They were 6-7 last year, 2-6. They are at Utah. They have Kentucky at home, USF, at Tennessee, Eastern Washington, Missouri, Louisiana State. They have Georgia in the cocktail party neutral site, at Texas A&M, South Carolina, at Vanderbilt, and they are at Florida State this year. Mississippi comes in at number 11. All right, we're just going to start seeing the better teams here that were from last year. And, it only makes sense. Georgia can't play themselves and give them 14 wins. But this is just how it shakes out. Mississippi was 10-3 last year, 6-2 in the SEC. They played Troy. They play Central. I don't know. I can't remember who CAU is. Cupcake. At Georgia Tech, Tulsa, Kentucky, at Vanderbilt, Auburn, at LSU, at Texas A&M, Alabama, at Arkansas, and Mississippi State. is who they finish with. So number 12 is Alabama. They have the third easiest schedule of SEC teams. They were 13-2 last year, 7-1. Their strength of schedule adds up to 75. They play Utah State at home. They're at Texas, who was 5-7 last year. That hurts, And these teams are gonna improve and get worse. This is just results from last season. ULM at home, Vanderbilt at Arkansas, Texas A&M at Tennessee, Mississippi State at LSU, at Ole Miss. They have Austin Peay at home and Auburn. And so that's pretty weak there. They get the good draw, seems like, every year. Next is Missouri. Louisiana Tech at Kansas State, Abilene Christian at Auburn, Georgia at home at Florida, Vanderbilt at South Carolina, Kentucky at Tennessee, New Mexico State, and Arkansas is theirs. And last but not least, the SEC champs from last year have the easiest schedule this year. 14-1, 8-0, national champs, as I said. They do play Oregon at a neutral site, I believe, in week 1. They have Samford, week 2, at South Carolina, Kent State at home, at Missouri, Auburn at home, Vanderbilt. They have Florida, Tennessee, at Mississippi State, at Kentucky, and they finish with their oh-so-powerful cousins, Georgia Tech. There you have it. If you guys liked this, give it a like and share and subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing more and more football. If you guys want to see another conference, maybe the ACC next. I don't know who cares about what, so just I'll go by how many likes and stay tuned. Thank you all, and have a great day.